Dr. V, I want you to know before we get into the important stuff that I think we're up to number 42 in our emails with YouTube. They're working on the problem. Dr. V has seen the emails, so he knows it ain't no jive, unless I'm dealing with an AI bot. I don't think so. And we'll see. I should know more tomorrow. But either way, we get Dr. V back there. He's the man. At least he's over my shoulder. He's always looking over my shoulder. He always did. Dr. V and me, it's good to see you. Hello?
Dr. V and me and StreamYard, apparently.
And well, you're talking about StreamYard, not me, and Art of War.
What's that StreamYard thing up there?
What can I tell you? Art of War, good to see you. We got the streamer. Dr. V's like selling. I mean, what you know, we're not making money on StreamYard here. He's just talking. We like to stick that little picture up there. Ohio State in the house. Okay, the Ohio State. The first thing we got to talk about.
Going to lose to Penn State this year.
Okay, maybe. The first thing we got to look at here is Charlie Kirk. And I don't, we have been talking, I think a major feature of our live show, our live stream, Dr. V and me, has been we talk about people getting together. We talk about people, whether you agree with us or not, to come on, tell us what you think. We respect it. We come back to you. We talk with you. And we end up having a pretty good group of people who come together and talk with each other. That's what you try to do. This violence is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. This is like the 60s. We were hitting the top people. They were hitting the top people in the 60s when you had RFK, you had JFK, you had MLK also, MLK Jr., and then you had Patty Hearst with her thing, and all these people blowing everything up, and the Panthers, and then they got blown up, and Malcolm got blown up, and everybody gets handled. It's like the same thing. And of course, Kent State, Jackson State, it's like the same thing now. But for some reason, the hate is incredible. Why can't people just speak with one another? Who cares what the other person says unless they're just coming after you, threatening your life? This didn't happen with Charlie Kirk. This hasn't happened with most people. But for some reason, Dr. V, this is what we talk about all the time. If I disagree with you, I dislike you. If I disagree with you, you can't be my friend. When we grew up, we talked about this. This is one good thing about being old until you're no more, and then you're not old any longer. But we talk about this. We used to have wide-ranging political discussions in our fraternity. Wide-ranging political discussions. We all didn't agree with one another, but we were good buddies. We got along. We had fun. We came together. We would yell at each other, and we go on that social floor and have arguments at the meetings. We did all that stuff, but nobody got on everybody. I mean, we yelled at each other and stuff. I mean, that's what you do with your kids, right? But we got along, and so many of us have stayed friends another 55 years as we go on forward with it. What have we lost in this country to lose that? What have we lost? What has happened? Where is nonviolence? Why is nonviolence such a dirty word? Why is love such a dirty word? It sounds like old nostalgia, but it isn't. When are we going to learn to love one another? When are we going to learn to come together? We have to make that happen. This has to end. It's more than just an issue of guns. Guns is a part of it. It's everything. Guns is horrible. Too many guns. It looks like this guy was a sharpshooter. Who knows? You never know right after all this stuff happens. But the fact that a person would do this and they don't care about life and they just want to go for it and take somebody's life just because you don't like what they say, horrible, Dr. V. Horrible, horrible, horrible. What is going on? You tell me. This is craziness. This is absolute craziness. What do you say?
Well, I don't know the specifics of this particular shooter, but there seems to be a pattern that a lot of the shooters are young, mostly males, and they seem to be disillusioned with the world. And I know from talking with some of my patients, the degree of sort of paranoia that exists. And it used to be the case when someone was paranoid, everyone would say this person is odd. But now, even if you have suspicious ideas, paranoia, conspiracies, you can find someone on the internet that agrees with you. So it's a really tough situation. But we've been talking about it. I've been talking about it. That what's important is connections, and no matter what your beliefs are, it's still another human being that you're talking to, and show the person some grace. And for your own health, for the health of the country, for society, it's important that we learn to make connections.
We
So
can,
I don't know the specifics for this particular case, but there seems to be a pattern of disillusioned young men that feel that it's in their prerogative to take out someone else's life.
it's hate. The hate is incredible. Hey, Spartacus, the hate is absolutely incredible. You know, you talk about connection. We got connection. I mean, we're connected with Spartacus and Art and all of our friends now, Spartacus, of course, and Guillermo, but Joe and I are connected. And people come on and give us trouble, but connection makes all the difference in the world. You got somebody you can call. You got somebody you can talk to. Why can't we start doing that once again? My friends don't all agree with me. In fact, a lot of them like Trump. Ugh. But they're my friends, and it doesn't matter, and we get along, and we talk about all this kind of stuff. What am I missing with this? Nonviolence. We've got to come back to it. And please give us thumbs up, whether you agree with us or not. We love you. Please come on in, talk with us, let us know what you think. But give us a thumbs up to know that we are with you. We are Americans like the rest of you are. I'm about to go into the economy. The economy's what's worrying me, and it's getting worse out there, and we're going to talk a lot about it here, but we had to deal with this Charlie Kirk thing first. As bad as it is, as horrible as it is, we just had to, okay? Please, talk to your friends. They sound crazy, calm them down. Say, hey, so what, the other side is a loon. You can be friendly with them, ignore them, go on to the next thing. Let's be friends. Let's be Americans. Let's be one. We're all red, white, and blue inside. Come on. Quit with being split up. And remember, it's the politicians that are splitting us up, because this is what's going to happen next, I think, Dr. V. You're going to start hearing calls for more police. I'm sorry, not more, but more whatever, more oversight, more going in and taking over cities, more all this, more all that. I think this is what, Idaho or Utah or something? The Midwest somewhere. This shouldn't, if you're under most definitions, it wouldn't happen in a place like that. But what are you going to do? How much more government control can you come in and take over? What government's got to do is start talking about people getting together instead of going out and putting social media messages out there about how bad people are and how the vice president is nasty and all these other people. Let's just stop it. Let's just stop it and say, hey, peace. This isn't for victory. It's for peace. That's what we need. Peace. Peace. That peace. Not a piece of pizza. Peace. And then we're ready to go. Let's talk about the economy, unless you want to talk about Charlie Kirk anymore.
No, just, hopefully we're creating a community here where we can talk to each other and be able to work to try to understand each other's perspectives and not hate each other, not revile each other. So hopefully that's what we're creating in this community here, that people can disagree, but it's okay, your opinions are welcome, and maybe we can learn from each other and at least respect each other.
We can learn from each other. Let's get to, thank you, it was very good. I don't say that to him too often. That was very good, Dr. V. Let's talk about the economy. The economy is in rough shape. Let's see what's going on. Let's talk about some data, okay? I'll give you the basic data. We all saw what happened with unemployment. They got the numbers totally incorrect. That means during the Biden administration was incorrect, and during the Trump administration has been incorrect. And if we look back politically, which is so interesting, I think, Dr. V, was that the Biden campaign was always talking about Bidenomics, and the numbers were great and the data was great, but people inside knew there was a problem. And now we're starting to see those numbers come from what people felt. It's called emotion, Dr. V. And it started coming out, and you can see how it actually happened. But let's talk about some real numbers. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. The PPI today looked okay. It's going to allow, I think, the Fed to make their move because we have the unemployment problem. Tomorrow's CPI, I think we're talking about a 50% cut and not a 25% cut. However, because we need it if the employment is that bad. But let's look at the economy, okay? Real data, real numbers. According to business, health insurance rise for business has been the most in 15 years, 15 years. The Census Bureau has found that household income for 2024 rose $1,000. That's basic household income for the year 2024, which is considered not statistically significant. Blacks had household income go down $2,060.
Yikes.
Okay, these are real numbers here.
Yikes.
Real incomes among the top 5% increased by $11,500 on average. But for those who are the bottom 50%, it hardly moved, if at all. The number of Americans not in the labor force has increased by 1.2 million since April. That means we have 1.2 million extra people out there who don't have a job, but more than since April. Inflation. I don't have to tell you about the numbers. We've gone over them. You go out, you buy food, you go to the store. I was out with some friends this afternoon with some meetings. They couldn't believe the prices. It's what you feel, it's what you see, it's out there. We've got this going on. Now, tomorrow's the CPI, which is a little bit better. The Consumer Price Index will have a better idea. But this is what they're finding, and it's really, really interesting, is that, I know they were talking to all these guys on CNBC. I've really been watching CNBC, Dr. V. And they talk to all these business people, and what they're all saying they're doing is they are looking at the increases that the tariffs are costing them and then looking to see how much they think their customers can bear. So they're going from piece to piece. That's how they've been kind of keeping it under control so far. Very focused on how much the customer can bear. But the president of Wells Fargo was on today. I'm telling you, I'm impressing Dr. V. He wanted data. I am just throwing it out to him.
Good stuff.
The president of Wells Fargo was on this morning and he says basically things look pretty good, but that bottom group that he's dealing with, I think they're talking like 50 to 150,000, the lower to middle income people, he said used to have a buffer of money. They have used that buffer up. The buffer is gone. He said, so these people are now living on their income and debt has been going up. So what's going to happen if they lose a job? What's going to happen if they don't make as much money or something? The problem is if they've used all their money up, they've got no pillow, no cushion. They've got nothing to take care of themselves. Where are they going to go? I think they're going to go to mortgages. That's why we have that little thing about mortgages on one of our shorts. I think they're going to go and try to drain all the equity out of the house. But when you see this going on, this is telling you, this is all under the radar, but nobody's talking about it. This tells you we have, I think, a bifurcation that we've never seen before. We've got the top group cleaning up, rocking. They were the average $11,500 extra on average incomes, rocking. While the people in the bottom get something that's statistically insignificant, unsignificant, whatever it was, or not statistically significant. I want to get it correct there. That's what's going on. That's why people are not happy. That's why you're starting to see down at these when they meet with their representatives, they get angry. They start yelling at them because you're seeing what we saw under Biden. These people who were told that they're going to be okay, the economy is going to turn. It's not turning. It's not turning. And people are now don't have jobs. It's harder than ever to get a job. But think about it, Dr. V. Number of Americans not in the labor force has increased by 1.2 million since April. What does that tell you about people are going to be going around going, what am I going to do with my time? What am I going to do with anything? Might as well throw a rock through a window. Who knows what's going to start happening? But this economy is getting in trouble because the president, with his tariff tax, is killing us. That among other things. Remember, taxes may be going down, but if tariffs are going up, you got a problem. Because even if inflation goes up, if it goes up 5% one month, but a percent the next month, it's 6%. Remember, we talk about compounding. You're seeing it. These prices go out. What did you tell me about the pizza? I had up there on our thumbnail, pizza about $20. Dr. V got some feedback on that. What was that feedback, Dr. V?
Where's Market Pizza for just $20? Down here it's $30.
Right. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? My wife and I go out. We got this place that has a special every Sunday, and it's like you get 2 toppings and a large for like $18, $19. I do it. We eat half of it, take it back, and eat the rest of the next couple of days during the week. Crazy when that's a deal. It's outrageous. So you're looking at this. What do you think we're going to do, Dr. V? Do you think this economy smells good? Do you think it's going to get worse? Do you think we have a bigger problem when we've lost almost 1 million people? Almost 1 million people.
I'm taking a little bit of a broader view, Mark. I agree. There's storm clouds on the horizon, and I think the risk of stagflation continues to rise.
I'm more worried about a recession. I'm more worried about recession now, Dr.
The thing
V.
is, if this is just like a regular part of the cycle where you have recession or inflation, the economy will bounce back from that. But what the country can't bounce back from is what's happening to our institutions. It can't bounce back from when democracy itself is threatened. And I'm thinking that if the economy sours, maybe enough people will hold politicians who are currently in power accountable, vote them out, and put people in who care about other people, are not selfish, care about this country, and care about an economic policy that distributes wealth equally among all its citizens.
Well, it shouldn't be equal. But are you a socialist? You think everybody should have money equal?
I'm not a socialist, but I also ascribe to the belief that happy wife, happy life. And that's why my house is all taken apart as we remodel the darn thing. You can be happy when the people around you are happy. When everyone around you is miserable, it makes you miserable. So happy community, happy life. It's in our personal self-interest to be kind to other people. And when you're angry, they say if you are angry at someone, you basically are just poisoning yourself. It's being angry at somebody is like trying to poison the other person by drinking the poison yourself. It's, people are killing themselves by being angry.
And killing others, Dr. V. And killing others.
And killing others. And today is an example where it involves killing others. But it doesn't help you. It doesn't help other people. It doesn't help our community. And so that, I think, is a bigger existential threat. And so if we have to go through a period of stagflation that we can recover from, that's not the end of the world. But what would be the end of this democracy that we have, this experiment, being an American citizen, is that if the powers that be allow us to just bifurcate, to divide, to hate each other, and the power of the country is just going to dissipate, and this experiment is going to end in a failure.
Well, I don't think it's going to end in a failure. It's going to end up in a big change. But what you just talked about is what we talk about here on me and Dr. V. It's just this split up of the country. But to me, Dr. V, it goes farther than that. It goes to the end of the American century. It comes in and, go on to Just an American Citizen. And you'll see for years I've been talking about this. We have lost all of our friends. We don't even have real trading partners anymore. When you got a friend, this is what you talk about. If I get bummed and something's really bad, I need a friend, or I just need to talk to somebody, I'll pick up the phone and call you. I won't think twice about it. You'll actually put up with me for a while. But if I just was a trading partner with you and was a vendor and used to call you up and say, Joe, if you don't give me a better price, I'm not going to give you the business. If I'm in trouble, I call you up, you're going to go, hey, good talking to you. If you can give me a better price, I'll talk to you. That's what's going on with us and our quote unquote friends. We have no friends. We have no allies anymore. And the rest of the world is saying, who cares about dealing with America? If America's going to act like this, I might as well deal with China because America's as bad as China. And if we're going to do this, I might as well deal with Russia because Russia's as bad as America. So it doesn't matter. We used to have a moral authority. We used to be able to stand up for our friends. We used to be able to stand up for democracy. We used to believe in it. And a major reason that this happened, but you can't change the past, is because, and Dr. V does not agree with me, because we really could do two things at once. is that everybody's been focused on STEM all these years. Science and numbers, science and numbers, science and numbers. No history. History has not been taught to our kids for 20 years, for 25 years. I talk to my grandchildren about it. They aren't taught that much history. I talk with friends and kids about it. I was another kid at not a kid, he's 30, 35, numbers genius, Dr. V. Went through University of Michigan, got his PhD, rocking, doing whatever it took, but he doesn't know American history. And I throw out stuff to him. Well, you know this happened. Really? Well, you know this happened. Really? And if you see the parallels, I never saw that before. That's where we had a problem. But you can't change the past. You can only change the future. And we try to talk it here. And I'm a history guy. And I'm an English guy. And he's a STEM guy. And we need guys like him. I don't know if you need guys like me that much. But we need guys like him. But we need old guys like me to talk the old stories so people can understand what it used to be.
We're not that far apart, Mark. I believe in learning from experience, that as individuals, we need to try something, see if it works. If it doesn't work, we try something else. It's learning from experience. And what you're saying is the same thing. As a country, as a culture, as a society, we learn from experience. And by learning from experience, that means we go back through history, we tried something, see if it worked or not. If it didn't work, then try something else.
Right.
The things that work, you do more of. And so you're right, history is important, history to learn from so that we can move forward, to evolve. And you keep saying it over and over again that we're not learning from history, we're not learning from real data, it's the same thing, and we're not evolving as a country.
We are devolving.
As a country, it's like a shark. If we stop swimming, it drowns. And as a country, if we stop learning, if we stop growing, as a country, we're going to drown. And that's what I think you're observing, and the data seems to support you.
Yeah, thank you. And unfortunately, I'm right, unfortunately, and it's going to get worse. I keep saying it. I don't know if you've noticed on Substack we go in, I'm putting it in big caps. It's going to get worse. I'm putting it here. It's going to get worse. And don't believe otherwise. I mean, please. People think, it's easy because you walk around, you can still eat okay, and the weather's nice, and you still go to work, and you still draw a salary, and you do all this kind of stuff. But when all of a sudden you start seeing people get picked up here and there, and then people get nastier, I'm very worried that out of this is going to be a turn from the federal government to get really, really vicious with people, okay? And start talking about how we need ICE and everyone else to just come on and take people in and question them and put them in a corner and put them in a room. I'm very worried about this, Dr. V. I think this could help turn us to more autocracy, more government control. I'm convinced the Supreme Court, they roll over for everything Trump wants. How long have I been saying it? It doesn't matter. You talk about, hey, well, there's law. There's no law. Remember, after Trump's first speech to Congress, he came down and with a big smile thanked the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice gave a big smile back and they shook hands. We know why. Did they shake hands? They are no longer the Supreme Court. They're the supine court. The only thing supreme I know is Diana Ross. Okay? Now, Diana Ross I know. But all the rest, Supremes, that's the only supreme. There is no Supreme Court. They roll over. They don't even put out opinions. They put out little opinions. They just say, hey, it's wrong. Hey, it's wrong. They're allowing the president to do whatever he wants. They keep talking about this tariff thing. Is the tariff illegal? Can the president just up and usurp the rights of Congress? Of course, the Republicans are letting it happen. That's going to go to the Supreme Court. They're going, it's a real question. It ain't a question. They're going to let Trump do it. They're going to say if the president says it's an emergency, it's an emergency because they're in the back pocket of Trump. That's what it is. So to me, I love your confidence. I don't have it. I'm not saying we're going to fall apart, but I think we have no real judicial system. Let's look what's going on with the Department of Justice. They're after this woman who is the Federal Reserve governor because they say she has 2 mortgages that are principal mortgages. Understand what happens. It's inexcusable if she did this. It happened with the state's attorney here in Baltimore City, and she got in big trouble for it. People go out, they'll buy a second house. They'll say it's their principal home because it's a cheaper interest rate. Banks give you a lower interest rate if it's a principal, your principal home. So people do this all the time. Inexcusable. Banks are let it happen, but it's inexcusable, okay? So the head of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, a guy born into all the money in the world, he's 35 years old, super wealth. He says she did it, and he's turning her into the feds. They call him up, and we get this, what is it, ProPublica or somebody comes up with a scoop that 3 cabinet members of the president has the same problem. 2 of them have 2 homes. The third one's got 3 homes. They asked him, well, not Pulte, whatever his name is. It's one of the, it wasn't Pulte Homes, the other one. They asked him, so have you turned them in? Oh, I know nothing. I know nothing. Maybe the feds are looking at it. They let their own people get away with this. The graft is incredible. The corruption is incredible. So how can you believe, well, you can, it's good, and I need confident people. I said it to another friend of mine who said, we'll make it. We're going to make it, but it's not going to come out good. And it's just when you have to use violence, when you have to split people up. And remember this, Joe, and I'm very worried about this. And we talked about this before. I don't want to watch what we say, Joe. Watch what we say, Joe. We've talked about this. What happens if the president goes into another city like Chicago, and those that go in are National Guard troops from other states? What do we have going on there? We don't have to say words. We're not going to say words here. But it splits up the country when you're bringing in certain states into other states to try to make a point. It's just not good. So I'm very worried. So we have our judicial system with it at the top. They do nothing, absolutely nothing except say, Mr. President, it's yours. Being supine is nice. I can sleep. I got a job for the rest of my life. Nobody can do anything to me. I can make big money and they can call me Mr. or Ms. Justice. Big deal. It's BS, okay? Bunch of politicos up there. So you got that. We're in trouble with that. We're in trouble with the economy because Trump is just doing this with the tariffs and stuff. Nobody knows what's going on, who owns what, who owes what, and people are having trouble spending, and the people in the lower levels are getting killed. And let's take one more step, if I may, Dr. Vin. Joe Biden has more backbone than Donald Trump ever had in his life. Joe Biden stood up to Vladimir Putin. Joe Biden sat at Ukraine and said, you come in here, you got a problem, I'm taking you on, I'm backing up our friends. Joe Biden said to NATO, I'm standing with you, we are working together. Joe Biden put together Australia, South Korea, Japan. South Korea and Japan weren't talking for years because of comfort women. You know about that, right, Joe? I think the Japanese use some of the Koreans for their Japanese armies as comfort women. Think about what life used to be. That's World War II. They didn't talk for decades. Biden got them talking and working together again. So what happens? Every day, in Ukraine, they're dying. Kids are dying. 10, 12, 15 kids getting killed. Trump says 2 more weeks since April. 2 more weeks. I think he has a problem with numbers. Maybe he should have taken a stem. 2 weeks is 14 days. It's not like 200 days. 2 weeks, we got that. They keep hitting them. Now, Lithuania, Latvia, and Moldova, most people don't know those states. They're the states on the east, that's the Balkans. Balkans is where World War I started. They're the states that are on the eastern edge of NATO. Trump says he's not backing them anymore.
How can he do that?
He doesn't care. Those are 3 states that spend more than 5% on their defense. But they're so small, I say states, nations, they're so small that they need that help. He won't back them. He says they're pooling support from them. NATO should do it. And then you saw what happened yesterday, didn't you? A week ago, the president of Poland came in and sat with Trump, I think it was a week ago, in the White House. I'm throwing facts out. Just so you all know why I'm doing this, I try to do it. And then we always get these reviews afterwards. They're saying, where are the facts? I'm trying to put all facts out here. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They came here about a week ago, and the president said, I back Poland. Poland and I are the same. I love Poland. Well, yesterday, Russian drones show up over Poland. They shoot them down. Trump goes, oh. Oh. He doesn't stand up and say, this is outrageous. I stand with my friends from Poland. He doesn't sit there and say the president was just here. He's got Putin throwing the bird at him nonstop. The president comes here. He sends drones over there. Ukraine, he gets letters from Melania. He decides to bomb them more and more. He doesn't care about Trump. So to me, it's so obvious because, I never believed that Trump really cared. But we're down to where it is now, Joe. Trump isn't into democracies. Trump is just into strong men. Strong, in quotes. Strong men. Guys who can just do what they want to do, get rid of people on the other side and go. He doesn't care. I don't see him standing up for one democracy. Not one. You want to say what's going on in the Middle East? I try to stay out of the Middle East. I'm sick about what they did in Qatar. He does nothing. And this is what's so funny when you watch him. It's funny. If the Israelis had hit those Hamas guys, Trump would have said, I was behind it. I told him to do it. I knew it. It was there. It was all me. But because the Israelis missed most of the guys, he goes, oh, I didn't know much about it. I know nothing. It's got nothing to do with me. They're our friends. Why did they do it? Joe, that's the truth. That's the game he plays, okay? So he's letting Russia run roughshod over our friends who don't believe in us anymore. And if we need them, we're going to have to come here. I don't know. You're the technology guy. Well, I know a little bit of technology. You're the science guy. Can they put up a wall that goes up 500,000 feet around the country so that nobody can hit us? Because that's all he's trying to do. Who is going to stand with us? Who is going to be with us? Who's going to be the moral group that says this is wrong? We've got to stand up and say this is it. This is it, Joe. We are really on the edge. And I'm telling you, wait till you see how Trump and the ferocity of the far right's going to be with this. It's not going to be, hey, nonviolence, peace, we got to do it all together. It's going to be hate, hate, hate. They're already hearing on Fox, those left-wingers. Oh, I get it. The right-wingers didn't try to kill Nancy Pelosi's husband. The right-wingers aren't trying to do it. It's both sickos on both sides. It's 1 + 1 = sicko. Okay? But we're already going to get it split up. Get ready, Joe. It's happening. They're going to try to split up our country even more with this and try to take over the courts and the police departments even more. Because keep remembering, he put $175 billion into the masked men, not the Lone Ranger, the masked men. Okay? It should have gone into our national defense so we can help defend ourselves and help defend our friends. I'm off the pedestal. It's all yours.
How do we walk people back from the ledge? I mean, you're painting a pretty bleak picture, but what can we do to turn things around? I mean, after listening to you, I feel like giving up.
You can't give up. You got to keep fighting, Joe. And but by talking about it, you have it.
What fighting? What effect is it going to have?
You just got to keep pushing, so that you hope that people, independents and others who are out there hear and see what's going on and say, I don't want this to happen any longer. I got to stand up and say things non-violently. I got to just put it out there. You and I shouldn't be the only ones talking. There should be others out there. There's no need to be afraid. You say it respectfully, but you say what you believe and you put it out there, and you got to keep doing it. You can't stop. I love you too, Spartacus. And I'm not going to stop. Because you got to believe, and you got to say, I love this country. And if people don't start believing you, we got to get more people to watch. We just got to we ask our friends, put us out there. Let people see this. We don't care. We love everybody except the super loons on each side. But we love the 95% of Americans that are out there. And that's where we got to go with this. We got to keep talking. And we got to keep talking truth to power. Because one day, hopefully, Joe, somebody will turn on this channel and look back at some of our live streams or some of the old stuff and say, man, those guys knew what they were talking about. Maybe we should listen to them as we go forward and see if they kind of know what they're talking about as we move forward. Joe, That's where we are. I don't see any other way around it. Truth to power. No more. You just can't put up with the truth ministry, the ministry of truth.
But I think we have to go beyond that. I think people 10 years from now going back and listening to our live stream and saying, oh, those guys are right, they were brilliant. In the meantime, the country's already fallen apart.
So what do you want to do?
Well, that's what we have to figure out.
You tell me, what would you do beyond talking, beyond exercising your First Amendment rights? What would you do?
That's the question. So, I mean, certainly one thing is we can, as you say, present the facts out to people so that we can change people's minds. So when they vote, they can vote the right guys in. So that's one thing you can do. Hopefully the Democrats take back the House in the midterms. And then that'll put a check, at least, I assume, on the current administration. So
Depends on the supine. It depends on the supine court, who may say it doesn't matter what Congress says. The president can do whatever he wants. But I'm sorry, that's just a caveat to what you said. Go ahead.
That's the point. I mean, so what can we do? We have to get the president elected. We have to get the Senate. And then if the Supreme Court continues to push back, maybe we change the number of people on the Supreme Court.
But you can't do it until you got the presidency in both houses.
I mean, we can at least have a defensive posture if we get one of the houses, that we can at least prevent some things from happening. But I assume that somebody's still looking at opinion polls, and when the opinion polls go so negative in one direction, hopefully that has a moderating effect in terms of what people say.
Okay, but that's out of our hands. You're saying, what should we do? I'll tell you this, you had the Virginia election.
We do have some role in presenting facts.
Right.
Presenting a case for people to help sway people's opinions.
Did I blow you away with all my data today, Joe?
Absolutely, but we need to use that data into a narrative that helps people understand what's going on.
Which is what we're doing, and we go with this. Go ahead.
Help give them a path of how to use that data to move forward, to have things go in the right direction.
We do part of that by.
If we were to take a poll, most Americans would want the country to be united. Even though they don't act that way.
Right, but they just say it.
We need to make that the referendum.
But they don't care. United means whatever united means. United means I'm united unless you don't agree with me. I'm with you. Everybody will say the big stuff.
How they spend their money. People vote with how they spend their time.
The question is going to be, are they going to have money? I'm hoping you're going to see that we're going to have the problems. I just try to answer. I'm just looking at your question, what we can do. We can exercise our First Amendment rights and go crazy. We can be willing to have other people come on and talk with us and try to get it out there, and we don't care what side you're on with that. We can put out ideas. I say our ideas. Understand, I'm not afraid, and you haven't been afraid to say, based on what we see, this is what we think is going to happen. People may listen and say, hey, these guys know what they're talking about. I got to get prepared. Like what we were saying before, you better start putting your pennies in your pocket, because you want to know what to do to get prepared. If it's a bad economy, you better have your cash. I'm not talking about the people who can afford to do whatever they want to do. I'm talking about that 50% of the people who got a not statistically significant increase in income for a year. Not statistically significant, but the 5% got $11,500. We got to get it out there. People have got to see the actual numbers. They got to know what's going on. They got to understand, because then they'll start getting pissed. Because then they'll start seeing why these people aren't getting food, because the 5% is rocking and rolling and buying their Gucci's or whatever it is, or whatever else they want to buy. But nobody's caring about Americans. Nobody's caring about regular people. And that's what's going to push us all the way to the left. It's going to go left, right, left. Oh, it's horrible, but we just don't. We'll get leadership. I believe in this country. I believe that if there is a God, God has always smiled on this country. And when we've needed leaders, we've normally had them. I'm hoping we're going to have it. We got to win Virginia. We got to push that hard, Joe. That's this year. We got to win New Jersey. We got to push that hard, Joe. You're next door to New Jersey. I'm next door to Virginia. We got to win those. We do that. We send the word out, but that's November. So we got to keep working with where we are right now and just keep on going. These are the things we've got to do. And we got to push it hard. And I'm going to keep putting the shorts out. I'm going to keep taking our long form, breaking it up, putting the shorts out. Joe's been taking what we do, taking the transcript, giving me a basic write-up. I play with the write-up. I put it on Substack. I'm putting our shorts on Substack. Tell us what else. I've been afraid to go on Facebook because I've had so many people on Facebook come back and write me all the time. I don't have the time to do it. And I don't want my friends. That's really getting my friends involved. Joe and I kind of talk about that. We can break out with that, but I'll think about that one day. I happen to like YouTube and very comfortable now with Substack as we're starting to get bigger, but we're not big. So that's where we are. That's what we're doing, Joe. We're trying. And that's what we tell everybody.
And hopefully we model for people that it's okay not to agree on every issue, but you can still be friends. You can still love each other. And hopefully we can show that in our community. I love our community where we don't necessarily agree on every single issue, but we can respect each other. And I think in the connection that people get some comfort in that people feel better, that they can go through life with a little bit of a smile on their face. So that's what I like to believe. And, if people in the chat want to comment on that, that's fine. They could accuse us of being, usually some sort of a slur about our manhood and that sort of thing, but it's manhood, womanhood. It is about being connected. It is about showing love and support for each other. And I think that's a most powerful example of masculinity is when you do something kind for someone who's not in a position to do it for themselves. And we can model that, we can talk about it, we can reward it when we see it. And hopefully that becomes a new standard. And I know we could probably get more views on YouTube or more likes on Instagram or whatever by yelling at each other, by being dramatic, by criticizing the other side. But I think that's sort of an empty calorie, if you will. That's the cotton candy of life. It may feel good temporarily, but it's not sustaining. But what is sustaining is connection. What is sustaining is love. What is sustaining is supporting each other. And that's how I want to model my life and model for the people around me.
That's the doctor. I say right on. Dr. V laying it out there. I say right on. I think that's great. It makes perfect sense. And that's what we're trying to do with all this stuff. I do want to note that we've had some deaths recently in the rock field. And it's a little group. I want to throw it out there, people. The Turtles, which has some great songs. Happy Together, She'd Rather Be With Me. Yeah, the other day, Mark Volman died. And a month or two ago, Howard Kalin died. The Turtles went on to be Flo and Eddie, and they went on playing with Zappa. These guys played with everybody. They were top. They weren't in great shape. They weren't rock lookers. They had big. They weren't good looking like me or Dr. T, Dr. Testosterone back there. But they could sing. Their music was good. You just want fun, 45 RPM music, 5, 6, 7 songs. Listen to the Turtles and enjoy it. But that's not our album of the week. I just wanted to get to a little bit of music here, Dr. V, just for a fun album. Most people don't know this album. They know the group, the James Gang. Everybody knows the James Gang. The James Gang had a guy who's a lead guitarist. I don't have to give his name. Maybe Dr. V knows him. Lead guitarist for the Eagles, went to the Eagles. But they had a big song, Funk 49. Guy's name's Joe Walsh, Dr. V. I was waiting for you to blow it out there. But this was their first album. Your album. Y-E-R, Your album. It came out when I was like in 11th grade. Yeah, I loved it. What?
No, don't know.
Okay, what's great about it is, the James Gang, Joe Walsh, who went on to play with the Eagles. Okay, this is his group, and this is his first album. The album is really good, but what I always loved about it, but being a kid, you love this kind of stuff, is at the end of the first side, you know how you have a groove at the end, and it just kind of goes, the stylus goes over to the paper where it has the name and everything, or it just stops. At the end of side 1, it goes, turn me over, turn me over, turn me over. So you're listening, and at the end of Lost Woman, it plays, and then you hear nothing, then you hear, turn me over, turned me over. It's so cool. So you get up, you turn it over, you're listening. You listen to the other side. You stop with Stop, great song. And it says, play me again, play me again, play me again. So tremendous. The album, even if you don't like the music, the album, you got to have the vinyl for it to happen. But the album is worth it. It's a really good album. Your album, a lot of good artwork. Like I said, around 11th grade, Dr. V and I didn't know each other then. Dr. V was too busy getting A's. I was too busy making trouble. I was knocking on doors asking people to vote for people. Dr. V was discovering different molecules and stuff. We were kind of coming down. We were coming down two different paths and ended up going parallel and intersecting. Luckily for me, and I hope he always feels that way about him.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But that's where we are. Please listen to James Gang, your album. But you got to listen to front and back. That is the end of the vinyl. Dr. V, I'm going to end it with, I hope things don't get any worse. I hope the government doesn't get crazy. I think it's going to happen. I'm very worried. I think we have to look for it and see where we're going with this stuff. Okay? When I say where we're going with this stuff, is it going to get deeper? Is it going to get more violent? Is it going to get more hateful? Or are we going to try to come out of it and try to use the words peace and love? Words that we tried to use in our days didn't work, but it kind of worked for a while to try to calm things down, to get people to believe that we are one. There was a group called the Righteous Brothers. Peace, brother, peace. Peace, brother, peace. All my sisters, all my brothers, peace, peace, peace.
Preach.
I'm preaching, baby.
Church.
I feel it. I used to speak at the churches. I love the churches. They were great to speak at. But that's what it is. The Righteous Brothers, great song. Bobby Hatfield, I think, sang that part of it. So that's where we are. Please, stand up. Don't lay back. Let people know how you feel. Get it out there. Please put us out. Please tell people about us. Please keep talking to us. We got shorts coming up tomorrow. I'll be putting one out tomorrow. I'm going to be on Substack. Dr. V is going to give me, hopefully it's something off the transcript tomorrow evening, I think, is what he normally does it. So we can run with that. That'll be on Substack. That's a write-up of this. That'll be up. Today is Wednesday, Thursday. Today's Wednesday. I'll be up by Friday, the latest. We'll have shorts each day and go for it. And what's crazy is, Dr. V, we're getting like 1,000 views on our shorts. I can't believe, can you believe it? We watch it, we go, man, it's like the craziest thing. So thank you all for watching and get a lot of thumbs up on that too. It's fun. Put in comments, tell us what you think.
Absolutely, I want the interaction.
We love the interaction. He really loves the action. It's the action, baby, that turns on Dr. T, not Dr. V. Dr. Testosterone, because when he talks like being a man, you can see he's all testosterone up there.
My YouTube channel next to
Let's go for it. I'll be the Dr. T. I love it, man. Perfect. Dr. T's. So that's where we are. We love you all. We'll see you. We'll see you Sunday at 11 a.m. And if anything big happens, we'll jump on. Until then, if you're square, we ain't there. Listen to the music, lay back, enjoy. And that's the way it is. Guillermo, we love you. Spartacus, we love you. We love you all. That's the way it is, Dr. V. Period. We'll see you all Sunday. And please share us to everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.